Jordan,
Ian.
who was picking some flowers, picked the wrong one's little brother, and now has a fight with a rosebush called Mike tomorrow.
Jackie Chan?
No, two guys. To be honest, Jackie Chan would be the best candidate for a fight with a bunch of flowers.
That is true.
Hello, and welcome to episode 26 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where two guys rip up a dictionary, make paper mache out of it, throw it at a wall, and make content out of whatever falls off first. My name is Ian, and I am joined by the guy who was patient enough to spend 10 years teaching me how to kiss like a champ, Jordan. Jordan, in one word, how are you?
I'm good because I've got all this kissing practice.
Great, now all that bollocks is out of the way. Jordan, what do you think of all the recent UFO leaks and information that has been relayed from the US government?
There's loads, isn't there? There's so many.
There's tons coming out.
I'm not someone that is trying to make people do certain things, but if you're not already on TikTok, set up a false email and just go for it because there are so many daily uploads for these UFO sightings. Yeah. It's crazy.
Make sure it's a false email because you don't want the Men in Black knowing your email address.
That is true.
I have split thoughts on it, to be honest. And I'll explain why with a few points and questions that I'd like you to have a little think about and see what you think about it all.
Okay.
So my first point, with the rise of AI, how can we genuinely believe that all these videos that are being released are actually real? Because AI has come a crazy distance recently, and it could just literally be being put out to back up their points, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, where do you draw the line, though? You could say that about anything.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if somebody showed me an AI-generated video of a cat playing with some yarn, I'd probably be like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. Like, I don't care if that's real or not. But because the government are trying to tell us that aliens are real, and they're going, here's these videos, look at all these, that makes me kind of raise an eyebrow and go, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it both ways, couldn't you? I do feel like there's been such a massive shift so recently because, I mean, when I was a kid, UFOs were kind of not taboo, but sort of looked at as being generally a bit of a silly thing.
Yeah.
Almost a conspiracy piled into that genre, if you like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas now it seems accepted.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think that's what they're trying to do. I mean, like, I'm jumping ahead of my points here, but it does kind of seem like they're trying to make it a more generally accepted thing, and that's kind of scary. With all these videos that are coming out, like, why are they not being met with skepticism that they once used to be? Like, not just from the Joe public, but even people investigating them normally used to say, like, oh, this is very interesting, we can't rule out it's fake, but it's very compelling. But even nowadays, it's just like, did you see this one? Whoa, yeah, that's mad, and it's definitely real.
Yeah, I'd like to believe it's true because I think we're boxing ourselves into a corner by saying that we're the only meaningful life form in the galaxy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is the fact that why the hell are the government just being like, oh yeah, by the way, we've lied to you for decades, but here's all the information. And not only that, but we've also given whistleblowers complete anonymity. They can just come out and tell you all the information they want with no fear and no repercussions. We can't touch them. It's like they're giving too much. It's just a bit odd.
Okay. Is that actually what they're effectively saying then?
Yeah, they've passed a bill now, I think that's the correct term, but that whistleblowers can now come forward even if they go back on their NDAs.
Right.
So they tell things that aren't supposed to be public knowledge. They cannot be reprimanded for it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's just it's like overkill. It's like, have you ever heard that thing where if you're trying to catch somebody in a lie, you ask them a question, and if they give too much information, you can kind of tell they're lying because they're trying to like pile it on with the facts to make it believable.
Yes, yeah.
So it kind of just rings a little too common to that. Like, so they're like, I mean, they've lied to you for decades. I mean, since Roswell at the very earliest. And now they're just like, here's all the information. We have crafts. We have back engineered technology. Oh, by the way, anyone else that wants to come out, it's fine. Just tell them, just say everything that's out there. Just let everyone know. It's all good.
Yeah, I guess. But okay, so if that is your point, what do you think of that? Are you implying that you think they're still lying about it, or?
Well, I'm skeptical. Some other people who are interested on the topic have said that it could be a distraction, so either say something like, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, it sounds absolutely madness to say it out loud, but I mean, this is the whole point of it. You talk about UFOs, you're instantly labelled a nut, but what if the government have knowledge of an interplanetary galactic war that's coming, right? And they've been trying to drip feed us these little bits, but now all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, something's coming, better just lay it on thick.
Right, okay. So your real concern is that you're about to meet the Greys?
Well, not in any short term of words, yes, essentially. But there's a few other things. I mean, like, it could just be a massive disinformation campaign or a distraction. I mean, like, when have we ever trusted the government as a collective? When have the government ever said, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this for you," and they've actually like gone through with it and actually done something which has benefited humankind?
All the time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, British government right now is absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah. Like current Prime Minister, thrice removed.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just absolutely mad. It's like it's either disinformation, so just lying. I think the guy who was interviewed, I think his name was Grush.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. But he said, I think in his very first sentence, "Oh yeah, there is a massive disinformation campaign running in the background." And it's kind of like he's saying that, like dangling it in front of you. It's like, here's what it actually is, but, you know, making you believe the lie.
So just run that by me again. So in what way?
So, like, say I really loved doing coke.
We've had this episode before.
We have had, yeah, I've given it up, right? But let's just say I absolutely love doing coke. And I came to meet you and you were like, "Hey, Ian, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, mate, I'm great. Definitely wasn't out last night doing a shit ton of coke," you know, even though I was. You know, so it's like he's saying, "Oh yeah, there's a massive disinformation campaign running in the background of everything," but then like that's the actual truth, and he's kind of saying that just to, like, rub the public's face, like, you're watching me, you believe in what I'm saying, and I've literally just said the truth right there in the second sentence.
Do you think almost like a double bluff?
Yeah, it just kind of seems a bit. I don't feel like I can 100% jump behind it, because it also seems like, I mean, everyone in the UFO community, I can't say everyone because there are some people who feel the same way I do, but it's like they haven't trusted the government for years, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, UFOs exist, we have technology, blah, blah, blah," and then everyone in the UFO community just goes, "Told you, thank you, right, yep, that's exactly what I've been saying for years," and they just take it.
Yeah.
They don't just all of a sudden step back and go, "Hang on a minute, why are you telling me that?" You know, your whole MO is kind of that you don't tell me stuff like that, and now all of a sudden it's all coming out like you've released the floodgates.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying, as if there's some ulterior motive behind it, but at the same time, you can't win. So,
well, no, that's the whole point about keeping vigilant yourself. You know,
Yeah.
You don't just take whatever you're told. You know, just think about it. You know, take whatever information you want, come to your own conclusion. So that's just where I stand. But my last point I want to raise to you is, why would the government be releasing all of this sort of stuff with the backlash they're going to receive and so many questions that they're going to have to answer for, like all the lies, the secrets, the cover-ups, the potential men in blackening people into an eternal sleep that they've done, which they're going to have to own up to and apologize for.
Yes.
And pay for, you know, and the lawsuits they're going to have from people being like, "My partner said he saw a UFO and then some guy came and shot him, right? So give me lots of money."
Right. But again, where do you draw the line?
Around my bunker.
Oh, is that what you call it today?
Yeah.
All right. And, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I've always sort of believed that, maybe don't want to call them aliens, but something out there exists more than we do. And
Oh yeah, definitely believe that. I'm not debating that. It's all the government side of things I'm confused about and more wary of.
yeah, I get that. I guess at the moment, I'm just not thinking in that way. I'm sort of more like, yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. They finally admitted to it. I know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to celebrate a small win rather than, you know.
It won't be a small win when they use this information against you and you're sat naked on a table getting your balls probed by Smargdor the Great.
Oh, it's been my dream.
Well, let's bring him in!
There's 3 doors.
Don't hurt my brain anymore. It's too late for that.
Behind 2 is a goat, behind 1 is Krablador's brother.
He's come for a visit. Krabador's in the audience. Like, I can't wait to see him. It's been so long.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it, really, but I don't share the same cynicism at this point, but that very likely will change.
I absolutely just feel so sinister of it.
Anyway.
Yeah, so just happy to get your view on that. So aside from that, and we will obviously keep ourselves updated and have a little bit of chat about that in future. Also, it sounds like we're very behind, but this information was just kind of released. We're just recording like a couple weeks ahead, so
Absolutely.
don't think we're stupid.
Well, I mean, you can do, and that would be rightly so, but still.
Yeah, but please don't.
We're not actually behind the times like it seems.
Anyway, Jordan, into the good stuff. What are you going into today?
Today, you know when restaurants get a really bad review?
I do.
Well, I've compiled a bunch of restaurant responses
Oh, perfect.
that I think are brilliant. That will be my topic today.
Brilliant.
But what have you got coming up today then?
Well, Jordan, let me answer your question with a question.
Right.
If I mention the name David Icke to you, does that conjure any feelings, emotions, any ideas on what the topic that I might be talking to you about today is?
I really like David Icke, actually.
Oh, so you might know.
Potentially.
Okay, what do you think?
It could be anything. I mean, he speaks about a lot of things, including cashless societies. Obviously, COVID was a big one. Vaccine. I mean, you name it, he probably spoke about it.
Okay, perfect. You haven't mentioned it yet, so I'll leave you in suspense until I get there.
Okay.
David Icke, born on April 29th, 1952 in Leicester, England, is a former British sports presenter, author and conspiracy theorist. Ooh. But the subject of today is not David Icke himself, but I bring him up because he is a giant proponent of the reptilian elite conspiracy.
Okay.
That's right, Jordan. Today, as promised at the end of last week's show, I am going to be tackling our first conspiracy, the reptilian elite.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so Icke had a successful career as a football presenter, sports broadcaster. However, his life took a significant turn in the early 1990s when he experienced what he described as a spiritual awakening whilst visiting a psychic healer in England.
Okay, didn't know this.
This experience, combined with his already established interest in New Age spiritualism and alternate theories, led him down the path of exploring unconventional ideas and delving into the realm of conspiracy theories.
Okay.
So in 1991, Icke published his first book, The Truth Vibrations, which explored his newfound spiritual beliefs and ideas about a coming global transformation. However, it was his 1999 book, The Biggest Secret, that catapulted him into the realm of conspiracy theory stardom. In this book, Icke introduced the concept of the reptilian elite, proposing that an extraterrestrial reptilian species controlled humanity from behind the scenes.
Okay. It's like they say royalty, don't they? The royal family.
Do you need to stop your jumping ahead, young man?
Sorry.
We will get there, okay?
Okay.
God.
I'll strap myself in.
Don't you make me start taking time off your life again.
I'll be in minus at some point. I'll just die halfway through this recording.
Yeah, halfway through. Hey, buddy, what would you do?
And what do you think about UFOs, Jordan?
Icke's book claimed that these reptilian beings, often referred to as Archons or Anunnaki, had infiltrated positions of power and were responsible for manipulating world events and suppressing human consciousness. He suggested that these beings could shapeshift, taking on human form, and seamlessly blend in and exert their influence over humanity covertly. So, Jordan, what are your thoughts right now on this? Straight out the gate, tell me.
I don't know, really.
Do you think that there is some kind of reptilian elite that is controlling us from behind the scenes?
To be honest, it's something that I've never really considered as being something I could get behind. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, but it boggles my mind how he can believe it so deeply. He genuinely just believes this is true.
Yeah, I suppose something to say is that quite a lot of what he said, I mean, we're talking maybe, 20 years ago, is coming true or has come true.
Yeah.
And it does make you think that unless it's a Baba Vanga kind of thing,
yeah,
where she's going to spout so much that some of it's going to stick, then maybe there is something to it.
So what you're saying is, he said a load of stuff, 99%, a win rate is good, so the 1%, the reptilian elite, is completely way off.
Could be.
Right. Well, hold on to your horses, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to convince you.
Okay, all right. I'm just waiting for the government TikToks at this point.
What, like monitoring you?
No, telling us about this reptilian elite.
Oh, right, yeah.
While they're doing UFOs.
New message from the government. David Icke was right. Here's Prince Philip as a lizard, just waving. With this big lizard head in a suit.
Some really long wavy tongue.
Yeah, I imagine him like ticker tape falling, him stood up on the back of a car, being driven along the streets like hissing at people, waving.
Do you reckon he'd still be clothed?
Possibly.
Still smart.
Yeah, I mean, to see a naked reptilian, that's like two things at once. You're like, what? A reptilian? Holy shit! And he's naked?
Yeah.
Reptilian dick. Well, it's a bit too many things at once.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, don't want to be blowing people's minds too much.
Exactly. There'd be someone out there that'd want to ride that reptilian dick right there and then, wouldn't there? Probably me.
The other thing as well, though, right? If that was the case, and this was true, that these
It's true.
Yeah, okay. That these reptilian elite beings...
Aliens, yeah.
Are part of us, well, I don't think them not wearing any clothes is going to be the terrifying part of that.
That's probably very true, yeah. What if there's reptilians listen to this and they're like, hey, that he wants to shag us? Oh, God, I'm going to wake up with horny reptilians in my bedroom.
Oh, God. What do you think a reptilian STI is?
Scaly dick.
Oh. For a second there, I thought you said scale your dick, and I was getting excited.
Calm down, Jordan. There's still time to go.
Jumping ahead again, aren't I?
Yeah, the sexy bit comes later. So, David Icke has made various accusations regarding public figures he believes to be reptilian shapeshifters. Some of the notable individuals that Icke has accused of being part of the reptilian elite include the royal family, including Prince Philip, George W. Bush, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. And Jordan, I actually did a bit of digging into this, and I have found that these people that Icke have named are actually presenting themselves under different names to the public. So, just quickly, Jordan, I'm going to tell you their names that are actually written on these people's, in inverted commas, birth certificates.
Okay.
Prince Philip, his real name is Prince Philizip.
Is that real?
Why is there a Liz in there in the middle? Is that because it's short for lizard, maybe?
So how is that being spelled?
Philizip. Philizip.
That's really weird.
Well, hold on to your hat, because we're not finished yet. So,
Okay.
George W. Bush, his real name is George L. Bush.
Okay, right, I get you. Stands for Louis.
Possibly, yeah, Louis the Lizard. That's his nickname in the Lizard Army.
Great.
Bill and Hillary Clinton, their actual surname is Lizard.
Is it really?
Yeah, their name is actually Bill and Hillary Lizard.
That can't be real.
and listen to the final one, Barack Obama's real name, Barack the Lizard. So I think it's pretty safe to say they're hiding something from us, yeah?
Wait, what? You're having me on, surely.
No, that's dead true, that, Jordan. I Googled it and everything. I didn't just write it myself. God.
Yeah, like Abraham.
Abraham Lizard. Yeah, so pretty freaky stuff, eh?
Yeah, that's odd.
So outside of Icke, who else has been accused? Katy Perry, Bill Gates, Greta Thunberg, Joe Biden, and the only one I can actually believe and get behind, which makes this theory not 100% write-offable for me, is Mark Lizard Boy Zuckerberg.
He is so weird.
He is very strange.
His mannerisms are all sorts of wrong.
One time I saw him on TV and he was like green and stuff, and he was like, had a big long gob and he was like, ah, at people. And
he was naked as well, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, just swinging his big old lizard truncheon.
Oh, here we go again.
Protecting these eggs that he had, and he was like, I think he said something along the lines of, "Don't take my lizard babies, I'll rule you all." Not quite sure what that means.
No,
Feel
don't
free
know.
to speculate in the comments.
Was that during the Meta press release?
It was, yeah. He was like, "I'll show you my real form." Ah, you know. Then he started swinging, knocking people out. It's a horrible time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds horrendous.
But all this sounds mad, right?
Yeah, not half.
Well, imagine that these beings are real, standing a staggering height of around 15 feet, resembling what we know as reptiles, originating from outer space, having clandestinely infiltrated our planet. Over time, they gradually seize control of our governments and entertainment industry with the sinister intent of enslaving the human race. Through their manipulation, they orchestrating conflicts and propagate mindless entertainment, ensuring our perpetual distraction and subservience. Which sounds about right, doesn't it?
I guess so. Assuming this is real, yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, it is real, and the lizards are doing it. So get on board, Jordan. Open your mind and prepare yourself for the incoming lizard dick.
Oh, God. My mind is the only thing I am opening.
Lube yourself up, Jordan. Get prepared.
That's awful. Especially if they're in proportion. If they're 15 feet tall, man.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be what? So I'm 6 foot, so that's 2 inches. So put that to 15 feet. So that's going to be at least 5 inches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's madness.
Huge. I couldn't imagine such a thing.
Only thing bigger than that be Donkey Kong.
He's a lizard as well.
Is he? Okay, yeah.
Confirmed. Donkey Kong lizard.
Is David Icke too?
Maybe. He's the one that went away from the lizard cabal and he's coming to warn humans. I mean, he could do it in a simpler way and just pull off his David Icke head and be like, "Blah, I'm a lizard."
Do you think that that's how they'd introduce themselves?
Yeah.
Blah, I'm a lizard.
And welcome onto the stage, David Icke. Woo! Hey guys, welcome to my talk. By the way, I'm a lizard. Ah, whips out his 15-foot lizard dick, starts swinging it, helicoptering at the crowd.
Right, I've got a question for you.
Hit me.
How on earth do you propose that these 15-foot beings are in the 5-foot-odd human forms?
In the skins of humans.
Yeah.
They can shape-shift, Jordan. Are you not listening?
Right, okay. So they wouldn't really just, like, pull the David Icke head off, would they? They'd just change.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a very good point.
It's not like fancy dress, and they're like, oh, every night, thank I got out of that and my back was aching.
Stepping out of it like, oh, mate, I've been hunched over for like 9 hours. I had to do this talk. I had to address the public, and I'm, oh.
Yeah.
His wife's like, oh, you've had a hard day, darling. Let me rub your back. It's like, oh, cheers, Skirbag. Oh, yeah, just get right to the bottom. Oh, yeah.
It's a long reach.
Yeah.
But the other thing, right, do you reckon if they are about to talk to the public, say Bush is just there about to address the nation and he's running a little bit behind and he puts his costume on back to front, it's like, oh, for f***'s sake.
I guess he just walked backwards, wouldn't he?
Yep. His knees and his legs would be all the opposite way.
Bending all the wrong way.
He'd be sort of limboing to the podium.
Best way to do it.
Oh, sorry, this is totally off topic now, but it just reminds me, I've got a friend of mine who's in Sweden.
Yeah.
He's a magician too, actually. And he explained to me that when he was a baby, he had an issue with with his knees because his knees were inverted.
What?
So when he was lying down as a baby, his knees were upright, his legs... It's like a running joke now, and I've got videos that I edited and stuff to make it look like his knees are still like that and they're just kicking around. He's nearly whacking himself in his face.
So your friend's a skinwalker, is that what you're telling me? With his forward bending knees wandering around the woods at night in Sweden.
Oh, I'm wiping tears. That's so funny. Oh.
Okay, so while I said David Icke was one of the first to popularise this theory, it's not a new thing. So let's back up a sec. The reptilian elite are believed to be an advanced race of reptilian beings hailing from the Alpha Draconis star system. They arrived on Earth in ancient times, and according to this theory, they infiltrated the governments and ancient civilizations with the purpose of enslaving humans and assuming control over them. Through inbreeding humans, they sought to introduce their DNA to the human population, enabling them to manipulate and control humanity more effectively. This alleged reptilian DNA would make humans dumber, slower, and weaker, rendering them easier to control, which obviously didn't work, because I think it's safe to say, and Jordan, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that I am one of the smartest, fastest, strongest people alive today, and let's face it, probably ever. But if these attributes are something to be a key indicator of lizard inferiors, then I know who I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Not mentioning any names or anything, but he's a co-host, and his name rhymes with Smagical Flawden.
Don't know who that could be. Sounds like a weirdo.
Yeah, he is. He's a lizardy creep. Supporters of this theory point to several pieces of evidence, such as the resemblance between early-stage developing embryos in reptiles and humans, as well as the presence of brain structures known as the reptilian brain, controlling primal functions. However, these similarities could be attributed to our shared evolutionary history with reptiles as early inhabitants of Earth, but obviously that's bollocks because, as we all know, it's just because your gran boofed a lizard.
Boofed. That's not an image that I ever want.
Fucking big horny lizard. It will infect your population. Give it to me, crab snatch. Make me your lizard slut.
There's just so much I could say, but I don't really want to go down that path.
Okay, right. So let's just move on, shall we?
Take me, Daddy Lizard.
Disgusting.
Yes.
So nowadays, a famous piece of evidence often cited is a video clip allegedly showing pop star Justin Bieber's eyes shifting all reptile-like. Theorists argue that such moments capture instances where the reptilian being's true forms momentarily surface. However, idiots, or should I say skeptics, counter that by saying such occurrences could be attributed to camera glitches or some bullshit, like whatever, it's 2023. iPhone cameras are fucking mint.
Yeah, I don't miss the days of sort of 2008 when everything on YouTube was a potato.
I've just told you Justin Bieber's a lizard and you're going to talk to me about iPhone cameras.
Yeah, it's really important, especially when you get calls from the dead and the battery lasts ages.
God, yeah, I know.
Reception shit, though.
So there is little scientific evidence to support the reptilian elite theory.
Oh, you don't say.
Hang on, wait, I'm not finished. You wait a sec. It enjoys a significant following with millions of believers worldwide. Can't be wrong if it's millions. This raises a question of why so many people embrace such an outlandish idea. One explanation could be extreme cognitive dissonance, as individuals can find it difficult to accept the inherent flaws and evils of humanity, instead attributing them to an external reptilian influence, blah blah blah, load of fucking bollocks. The lizard are here and they want to shack your grand, Jordan. They want to do us all. They want to spread their lizardy seed.
My grand's dead, so I mean, I don't think she'd mind at this point.
Okay, well, you know, where's your wife right now? Can you hear any lizardy groans coming from downstairs?
Potentially, yeah.
God, I thought it was just my wife. I was just saying that so I could get a bit of reassurance. You and I have to start our own little breakaway civilization and just fucking take these lizards down.
That's it, yeah.
Or join them and shag them and all. I'm up for the latter. What about you?
I was going to ask you, how do you propose to take them down?
What I meant was me go down on them.
Okay, yeah, I figured. Might as well do what you do best, or semi-well.
Don't mention semis, mate. So, proponents of this theory reference depictions of reptilian gods and goddesses in ancient religious arts as evidence of reptilian beings' past rule over humans, proving that it ain't just recent times that reptilians have been messing about with our lives. In ancient Sumerian texts, particularly in the Epic of Gilgamesh, dating back to 2100 BC, and the Enuma Elish, written in the 12th century BCE, have been subject to interpretations by proponents of the reptilian elite theory. These interpretations draw upon the symbolism and metaphorical descriptions found within these texts.
Okay.
So, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, it is an ancient Mesopotamian poem. It recounts the adventures of the legendary hero Gilgamesh. In some interpretations, it suggested that in certain passages contain veiled references to reptilian beings, as in the Hambaba. The monstrous creature that Gilgamesh and his companion encounter in their quest has been described as having reptilian characteristics, and in the Enuma Elish, known as the Babylonian creation myth, describes the rise of the gods and the formation of the world. While it includes gods associated with various elements, the reptilian elite theory gang focus on one goddess, Tiamat, a primordial goddess who takes the form of a monstrous sea serpent or dragon, and some argue that Tiamat represents a reptilian deity. However, scholars typically view Tiamat as a symbolic representation of chaos and the primordial forces of nature, not as a literal reptilian ruler blah 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 load nonsense.
Okay, yeah, perfect sense.
Egyptian hieroglyphics and carvings, some argue that these are a result of reptilian influence. One notable example, often cited by theorists, is the god Sobek, who is depicted with the head of a crocodile or as a human with a crocodile head.
Okay. I have seen those memes.
Which?
Where a human body has a crocodile's head.
Yeah.
And it lists a load of activities that they would really struggle with if that was actually true.
Oh, right. I've never seen anything like that.
Have you not seen them?
I have not.
Hang on. So this one where it's struggling to play a trumpet because its arms won't reach.
Oh, right.
Because its crocodile mouth is so far forward. It struggles to take a selfie, even with the long selfie stick. You just see its nostrils.
You'll have to send me these.
It can't go up ladders because its head keeps getting stuck between the slats. Yeah, so there's plenty of them.
Brilliant. You'll have to send me a few.
So, I mean, I take it all back. It's definitely true.
Of course. Definitely. Now you're on board.
All it took was a couple of cartoons.
I must remember to sit you in front of CBBS more often. Okay, so let's jump back to recent times, because Ike was not the only guy on this crazy train. A woman named Sherry Schreiner was an American lady who gained prominence through her online presence and writings. She operated a website, authored books, and hosted an online radio show where she shared her beliefs and theories. While she covered a range of conspiracy topics, as Ike did, she was particularly known for her promotion of, you guessed it, the reptilian elite theory.
Never heard of it.
Have you not? Not once?
No, never come across that before.
You'll know when you're bent over getting railed by a 15-foot crocodile head.
Oh, by just the head. Oh, that's interesting.
He's going to struggle to unzip his pants because he can't see past his big long snout.
That is so true. Exactly.
Schreiner actually claimed to have personal contact with extraterrestrial beings who she referred to as reptilians or reptoids. And according to her, these reptilian entities were doing, as we said before, infiltrating Earth, manipulating humanity for their own sinister purposes. She also believed that they held positions in power of governments, religious institutions, and influential organizations, exerting their control over human affairs. Schreiner actually claimed that 1 in 4 people are real, the rest are reptilians.
Okay. Wow.
So this means your family, your friends, Jordan here, dear listener, all reptilians.
Question.
Go for it.
The 3 in 4 that apparently are reptilians,
Yep.
do they know?
I guess so. I guess it'd be a pretty pointless fight if they didn't.
So, does that mean one of us is lying?
No, because we've vetted each other.
It was those late nights, wasn't it?
It was all that kissing. I didn't feel any like split tongue or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure you're clean. Before we go down that route, I am inclined to believe that this woman was just batshit crazy, because it came to light later that she was actually a cult leader, and she was named in the events that unfortunately led to a few people's deaths.
Okay.
So she crazy.
Yeah, sounds it.
So just to quickly wrap up, there are many that believe this conspiracy to be just another way of looking at a fair few conspiracies that run rampant among the theorists, whether it be the reptilians, the New World Order, Illuminati or whatever. They all share crazy nuances or similarities. I must say, this is not a theory I can get behind. There are a few reasons for that, but first, Jordan, what do you think?
Still, I'm sticking to my guns from before. I can't get behind it. Just for some reason, it doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why.
No, I mean, nothing's crazy anymore, is it really? I mean, apparently we have aliens, we have crafts, we have back-engineered technology, so who's to say this isn't true? No one can really be 100% sure.
I suppose, but I can believe aliens and I can believe UFOs. That seems like a tangible potential thing, whereas shape-shifting people into lizards just seems batshit stupid.
Well, nothing's crazy anymore these days, my pal.
That certainly is.
I have just one question that I mentioned at the end there. It's like, if they've been doing this since ancient times, why hasn't it worked yet? Why aren't they controlling us all? And why is it literally taking thousands and thousands of years if we're all so dumb and subservient? Like, what is their end goal?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't we all sat in front of, like, a TV just being mindlessly controlled 24/7? Like, why do we have our own free thoughts?
Who's to say that these reptilians, lizard people, are so elite? What's so good about them?
Well, they have their power to hide themselves from us and do what they want and control the world events to how they want them to go, apparently.
Yeah, but how?
By being put into positions of power that can have the power to do these sorts of things. So like religion, government, Mark Zuckerberg, billionaires, that kind of stuff. So they have the power to sway the world how they want it to go.
But what is it about them being reptilian that allows for that to happen?
It's not the fact that they're reptilian allows them to do that. It's just they are reptilians and that's what they're doing.
Right, okay. So it's not as if being reptilian allows them some sort of big power.
No. That's just what they are.
It's almost like it's coincidental. That's just their race, as it were.
Yes.
Got you. Okay. No more questions.
Well, I think we've made believers out of both of us here.
Well, I don't know what to believe anymore, to be honest.
Very true. But Jordan, my wife wants to come to bed, so tell me some stuff.
I've never heard that sentence before. Right, okay.
Oh, not with me. Don't get me wrong. She don't want me here. She wants me out.
Okay. I thought I had to sort of like write you some interesting chat up line or something. My wife wants to come to bed and I want to woo her.
I've tried them all. None of them work.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to hear about when restaurants leave hilarious replies to bad reviews?
I would love nothing less right now.
Yeah, probably me too, actually, and most of the listeners.
I meant to say more, but whatever.
Yeah, Freudian slip.
The tiredness has kicked in.
So in a world of local takeaways, a negative review can spiral their reputation into disaster. In today's digital age, where people freely share their opinions online, the influx of reviews, both positive and negative, is reaching unprecedented heights.
Okay.
While some customers authentically express their discontent through negative reviews, others have ulterior motives, and consequently, owners are becoming increasingly inventive in how they tackle such adverse feedback. Their comment counterattacks and witty responses have reached an entirely new level of creativity.
Beautiful.
And here's some examples. The customer says, and by the way, I'm going to read this exactly as it's written.
Perfect.
So if I sound like I can't string a sentence together, that's not me.
Oh, yeah, good cover-up.
Just a little disclaimer. Absolutely. Customer. Food doesn't have taste and it wasn't enjoyable. Service was good. I asked hot food. It was hot but no taste. The reply. Please get a COVID test.
Fair enough, yeah.
I can only imagine that was written during the height of lockdown.
Yes, must have been.
And speaking of the big C, customer writes, happy with my takeaway. I telephoned and collected. Tasty food and not a bad price. Friendly and COVID-safe service. 5 stars.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely.
It does, doesn't it?
What could come from that?
The reply. It's not COVID-safe. 3 of our people have COVID.
Oh, God.
Just what you want to hear.
You're sat there looking at your kebabs, like, shaking, like...
Doing a COVID test on it or something.
Yeah.
Swabbing it.
What are you doing, Kevin? Swabbing me meat, Mum.
Oh, shit, there's 2 lines.
Oh, God. Continue eating.
It's like, yeah, I'm hungry anyway, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, a question for you, actually. What would you say is the number one reason for a bad takeaway review?
Probably lateness.
Yeah, delivery time and food being late, it is quite a big one.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, on that note, there's one here that says, very disappointed, incredibly late, over 2.5 hours late, despite recording food as delivered on Just Eat after 1 hour, and the food was bland, lukewarm and inedible.
Yeah.
Who would ever order there again? And then the reply was, Wigan Centre roadwork gave us bloody headache, sorry. We'll increase delivery fee to 2k, cause need to hire a helicopter to drop food down your roof. You'd better don't miss it. Fair point, I guess.
Yeah, best way to do it.
What can you do if you got roadworks?
Exactly.
Another one. Customer says, we waited over an hour for our food when I rang the store and they said that we would need an extra £3.50 to pay for the driver. I don't know who I spoke to, but they were not very polite and were heard swearing in the background. Will not be ordering from here again.
Tut.
Yeah, so the reply was, it was me who you spoke to and I wasn't rude. There was no swearing at all because in my shop we do not swear at all. Whacker.
All these people are just going to be getting themselves so much more business from this.
Exactly. Exactly. I think I'd be inclined to order from them as well.
Yeah.
Another bad review from a local chippy. The customer says, sad to see a chippy like this. Not enough customers to have food ready. Steak and kidney pie.
Without the kidney, if that's okay.
Cheeseburger was good. Chips okay. But not somewhere to go to unless you really have to. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, first of all, these pies come frozen, so you can't just pick the food out.
I think that was the takeaway kind of saying that. So they've asked, can I have a steak and kidney pie, please? And they've said,
yeah, but it's without the kidney, if that's okay.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
That's how I've kind of interpreted that. But anyway, the reply was, Jason, you are a twat. If our very nice pucker pies that are done to order are not good enough for you, then fuck off to another place, okay? A place like my fish and chip shop does not have food sat waiting around for twats like you. We all do our own food fresh to order, including the pies.
I think that only goes to prove that you just can't keep everyone happy. So there are people who want it done and ready for you, but there are people who want it fresh. So
You can't please everyone, so no point trying.
Exactly, yeah. But I can please everyone because I am a pro.
Who said that?
I practice on lizards.
Okay. Yeah, you are banned from most zoos.
Ian, get out of the iguana enclosure.
Oh, he's jumped over again. He's done it again.
Oh, God, he's got a gecko in his mouth.
And that was only when you were on those school trips, let alone recently.
Put the chameleon down.
I'll do a few more that are from a Chinese takeaway.
Okay.
And they are my favourite because they just do not mince words. And I am going to try and read them exactly as they're written for pure comedy gold.
Okay.
Customer says, want to know what bird that was because it's massive. No chickens are that big. Also, the skin was very, very thick. Chips were nice though. So the reply is, hi Mike, we use his big chicken.
What? Okay. And what is this big chicken?
I don't know, because the guy was complaining that there's no bird that's big. And the guy's just like, we use his big chicken.
I'm gonna pull one of your lines from a previous episode, Jordan.
Right.
It could be turkey.
It could be, but I guess if it's listed as chicken, it should be chicken.
Very true. Yeah. Just put poultry. There we go.
Yes, but
With,
bird.
bird curry.
Why does that sound worse? Like chicken curry. Yeah, that sounds great, but bird curry.
It kind of sounds like imitation.
It does, doesn't it?
Can't use the real word, so it's just like, hey, try my bird curry.
That sounds so awful. Oh, do tell me, by the way, you have a thing about ducks, don't you?
Yeah. I can't eat duck at all.
And you haven't tried it, have you, either?
I have not, no. There are other things that I can't eat as well, things like deer and rabbit. I have a good reason for this, and that's because I grew up knowing that they were animals before they were food.
Right, okay.
So, like, I grew up eating things like pork, beef, sausages, just general sort of food items.
Chicken?
Yeah, chicken. So I knew they were food, and then later I was like, oh, so that's where that comes from. They're actually animals. But then because I grew up, like, sort of being like, oh, look at the little fluffy bunny, and oh, look at Bambi and the wild deers, and look at the ducks in the ponds, It's like naming your animal before you eat it. Like, you get to know it first, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's my reason I can't eat duck.
Would you ever consider it?
The thought of it just makes me feel a bit sick. I mean, there's nothing physically wrong with it. Like, I could put it in my mouth and eat it, but it's like, it just makes me want to, like, makes me feel a bit.
What if it was a blind taste test? I was like, I've just made this meal. Can you tell me what you think?
I'd say, what is it, Jordan? And you'd go,
It's birds.
it's bird curry. I'd be like, that's a no from me. Scrape into the bin.
I mean, it could be ostrich or anything, couldn't it, really?
Can't eat ostrich. I mean, a lot of people, they eat things like...
Frogs.
Oh, no, God, no, couldn't eat frog. That's just weird anyway.
Have you seen when people have freshly killed frogs ready for cooking, and before they cook it and they put the salt on and everything twitches?
Yes, yeah, that's just too freaky.
That is really weird.
When I used to live in Germany,
Yeah.
there was a meat that they would do that was made from horse, and it was called frikadellen.
Okay, sounds nice.
Well, you can eat that if you want, but when we moved back to England, my dad bought some frikadellen from like Lidl or Aldi or something like that, but because we can't sell horse meat in England, they were just burgers that were like flavoured and seasoned to taste like that meat.
Oh, right, okay.
But my dad told me that they were made from horse meat originally, and because I was young at the time, I just automatically thought they are horse meat. So when I was eating them, I was like almost throwing up as I was eating it.
Even though it didn't really contain it.
Even though it didn't have it yet, I was under the impression that it was horse, and I was like eating it, like loving it.
Dear.
Like, oh yeah, this is great. But no, yeah, it was made me want to throw up. But yeah, so I can't eat animals that I knew were animals before food.
So in other words, it's mind over matter, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it, Jordan. I'm f***ed up, all right? Move on.
Okay, I will move on. But speaking of ducks, here's another review. It was good until broke my tooth on a bone in the duck. Fair enough. So the reply was, oh, sorry, the ducks are boneless 99.99% of the time. So sorry that you met the 0.001%. I will go and buy Euro Million lottery if I were you. Ducks have bones just to prove our meat are not processed. Like the desert missed the rains. And I thought, yeah, you heard that right. The owner actually quoted lyrics from Everything But the Girl.
Did they accidentally forget they were doing a reply and think they were typing their favourite song into Google or something like that?
Maybe they were.
Who sang that song? Well, I'll have a little search on Google.
It's like, oh, shit. I was doing a review.
Yeah, clicks enter. Oh, bollocks. I was halfway through a job.
Yeah, I don't have any idea why he said that, but he did. Another one says, worst duck ever. The reply, worst people get worse duck. Just imagine it.
Fair enough, that's fine.
Yeah.
I would say that if somebody said that to me, I'd just be like, yeah, fair enough. That's a great comeback.
Right, I'll leave you with one last one.
Okie doke.
The customer says, after a 90 minutes wait, we get a cold curry with chicken that tasted like rubber.
Ugh.
The reply, you lie.
Is that it?
Literally it.
I bet they were sat at home like, shit, yeah, you're right, I do. Better retract my review. That's not... Half of these aren't really reviews, are they? They're just complaining.
I mean, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Most people are going to review something for a negative effect.
Yeah. No one's ever going to put, like, a decent comment. Like, everyone will only ever want to get in touch if something is shit.
Yeah, exactly. You only ever complain.
Like my wife.
Yeah.
She only ever talks to me when she's sick of me.
That's counterproductive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, things are going great. She's out the door. Then the second she comes in, she's like, this place is a fucking shithole. I left you alone for half an hour. You could have hoovered, and instead you've been sat here on your knees with that fucking lizard. With a gob for her. Sorry, wife.
In fact, just before we call things, I do have one last one, and it happens to be my favourite.
Okie doke, go on.
Great pie, Every time is a very good filling. So the reply was, that what she said.
I knew that was coming, you know.
So there you go. Some of the replies of the worst reviews of local takeaways.
Delightful. Fantastic. Thank you very much for regaling us with that, Jordan.
You're very welcome, Ian.
And thank you very much to you at home for tuning into today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. If you would like to get in touch, have an idea you'd like us to research, have something read out on a future episode, or even if you just want to say hi, you can find all the links to our socials and where you can reach us at twoguyswhatsup.com, which will be linked in the description of this episode for your clicking pleasure. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Take your friend to a pet shop, go to the lizard section, and blast Two Guys What's Up at them while screaming, "We're on to you, lizard bastards!"
I don't endorse if you do that, by the way.
Yeah, probably don't. But do.
But don't.
And don't forget, we now have a Patreon where you can find all sorts of Two Guys What's Up bonus stuff. That's right, I said all sorts, because at the moment we have badges on there, and we now have introducing T-shirts available, with our creepy faces on them for you to parade around in front of all your friends so you can laugh at us from afar. Both of those things are available at the moment on the Patreon, all starting from just £3. And if you have subscribed to the £3 badge tier, then that also comes with a shout out, which is what we're going to do right now, because we have a new Patreon patron, gentleman, one of our newly acquired guys. Thank you so much to Daniel Ford.
Yes, thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you for your support. Very delightful. Your badge is in the mail.
And can I just mention Daniel Ford? We mentioned him previously in an earlier episode because he recently released his book.
Yes.
Which is now at Waterstones, called Reality Check.
Brilliant. I might have a little look into that and see if I can buy it and get some content out of it.
yeah, you could.
Tell some cool stories. Hopefully he won't sue me. I'll just ply him with badges. I'll give him like 100 badges.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for your support, Dan. Greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
We love you.
We do.
Enjoy your badge. So don't forget, if you like what we do and you'd like to help support us, you can go and do that over at patreon.com/2guyswhatsup. But if you can't, or you just don't wanna, but you still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in the Apple Podcast app would go a long way to help us out, and we would be eternally grateful.
That we will.
But on that note, thank you very much for listening, guys, and we will see you next Monday. Bye! What is going on? Have we swapped places?
Possibly.
I was like, hey man, yeah, reptilians, they're well creepy. And you're like, yeah, reptilian dick. To be fair, I think I'm the one that said that twice so far.